Okay, so welcome, Jamila. Very good evening to you from India.
Thank you, Arun, for the invitation. I'm so much excited, to be with you today.
First of all, let me compliment you. You're looking very pretty.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Excellent. So a very good evening to everyone who is watching us live right now. I think this event has been planned a couple of weeks back, and finally, we are at a stage where we are together. Jamila is based out of Dubai. I'm based out of India. I do life and leadership coaching, and we also have an office set up in Dubai now. And I was fortunate and I was glad when I met Jamila and when I was in Dubai. And in that conversation, a lot of things work together. And today, that is the outcome that we are here in doing this live session. So, Jamila, before we move, I also want to tell you something very unique about India, one particular thing, and that is people are crazy about cricket here. And I don't know whether you are aware, right now, it's the World Cup which is going on.
Okay.
And today India is playing their semi-final match, and a lot of people are hooked to their TV. So,
oh my God. So we will miss some of them.
so I hope some people will definitely plug in and be here. But I hope now I'm more dependent on Dubai audience to watch this live right now. Well, anyways, having said that, I want to begin this by asking you, first of all, I want you to tell about yourself, who you are, what you do, and what are your core strengths so that people should know you better. So over to you.
Thank you. My name is Jamila Korak, and I am a certified, coach, team and leadership coach. And my last 12 years, they were in the field of learning and development, talent management, coaching, and leadership facilitation. Mostly, the power skills, right? Yeah. And this transition was, after around 20 years of different roles in commercialization, like sales and marketing and key account. So in different roles, either locally in the country and also regionally in the MEA, Middle East and North Africa, and as well global. So this is in a nutshell what I am. I am a pharmacist by education, and I work in pharmaceutical company for a long time. So I was always fascinated by the development of the team. And especially when I was sales manager and I was leading a team of 6 people, this was my first, managerial position. And since then, I am so much, fond of finding ways how we can develop and grow, because even myself, without upskilling and reskilling, I'm not there. I'm not, in the same position and I am, or, this journey that I am so proud of it. And thank you very much for the invitation and for giving us the opportunity to share our opinion about a very important topic.
So nice. Thank you, Jamila. And let me also add one thing that I'm really touched by one thing, because people who have been into the pharmaceutical industry, I started my career lifting the bag, going and meeting the doctors. And when I saw your background, it really, made me like a home feeling, because I know that we both come from the same experience. And you rightly put in that reskilling, upskilling, right from those days till this date is so important. It's so valid. It's so essential. So without going around and around, let's get into the real topic, because people want to learn from this conversation and would love to hear from you. So let's understand, because I myself have been listening, upskilling, reskilling. So, people use this very interchangeably. They feel that reskilling means I need to rebrush my knowledge. So I'm not too sure. So seriously, I'm telling you. So you have enlightened and share some thoughts around this, and maybe some examples can give us more ideas, please.
Yeah, sure. Yes, Arun, you are correct, because, upskilling and reskilling, it was like used interchangeably but they have different meanings. Um, they are, of course, an important strategy for the organization to help their workforce to expand their skills. So with the upskilling is, the way that you can focus on offering different, knowledge and expertise and different capability for the same role that you are in, because it is very important to build on what you are doing, and especially because what is going on in the market is changing dramatically. And we will talk more about this change, that it is really there and it is accelerated. So as you mentioned, maybe myself and you, we started in the pharma as medical representative, but the capability and the skills that they were in that time 20 years back, it's so different from what is really required now. So we cannot continue having the same skills as we have started before, while the role and the job description has been changing a lot, and we need to upskill our really current workforce in order that we will give them a chance to advance in their career, because upskilling is very important on the role. And we will talk maybe also about the roles that it has been a change in the days now with the technology, and especially we are seeing this after COVID. After COVID, it was this technology advancement is really accelerating everything. So this is what is upskilling. So you are upskilling your workforce on the same role in order that they will meet the demand of the change in the market. While reskilling is, on the other hand, is the process of acquiring new skills, and because when you are you have to prepare your workforce for the future, right? Everything is changing. So with reskilling, you are preparing your workforce to take more responsibility and maybe start a new job internally in the company. And by this way, they are going to be prepared for any future role that it is changing. So this is, why we say it's interchangeable, because they are all about skills, but in the same time, they have different also strategy. And learning and development professional, they are really keen, to take this and expand the skills for their employee. Yeah.
Yeah, very well said. I think you touched on a very important topic, which is post-COVID, because I remember, I don't know about your side, but I know in India, everybody was stopped at home, nobody was moving. And the biggest challenge the organizations were facing, how they will reach out to the customer, which means only your voice can go or a video can go, but physically you cannot go. And people were not prepared for it. Exactly. And that was an area where reskilling stuff was needed a lot. And I think a lot of work has gone by and a lot of tools have developed over the period, and things have done well. So now, since you talked about upskilling and reskilling and how it is important and essential for an employee in any role has to shape up. But tell me how it works when it comes to correlating in a business sense, because ultimately it's business, it has to go up. So it is going anyways, but how at an employee level, it connects reskilling and upskilling.
Yeah, and as we have, as I mentioned, this is, upskilling and reskilling. It's a tool, it's a strategy for the organization, right? So why they have, to look at it and seriously, because it is essential for any business, either, big or small, to stay very competitive and agile. Why? Because to adapt to the changing market condition. And you have mentioned about, COVID. We saw that things has changed dramatically. And, virtual was key. And using the technology was like, accelerating everything in life. So all of us, we had to upskill ourselves and even reskill in technology. This is, something for everyone. So to keep, the business very competitive and agile is very important with this rapid pace of technological advancement. So the skills that it is required as well has started, to shift. For example, any job that it is currently now, within 1 year, this job has changed 30 to 60%. Yeah. And some of the roles has changed dramatically. And you see that all companies now, they are going through a lot of revamping, co-creating, reimagining the business model. So this is very important. You need workforce whom they are ready, to take this over, because what is the company? It's the people, right? So this is the reason why upskilling and reskilling can help, the company to keep on really going within the change that it is and the competition that it is really fierce within, the market. So when you have an employee who they have a new skills, they are going to be more motivated and more engaged, and the satisfaction on the job will be higher. And this is very important for the business, because you are keeping and retaining your talents. And this is what the companies are really struggling nowadays, and especially with the new generation, they want, to be all the time busy, developing, growing. Otherwise, they will not, stay with the company. And on the other hand, when you are reskilling and preparing, where the business goals is and your strategy. So what is important for the learning and development professionals and talent management to think about what are the new skills that we need in the future, and prepare their workforce within it. And this is where reskilling is going to help the business to continue and to sustain for the future. So you will be prepared for any roles, instead of what we were struggling lately by, looking for talent for the new future work, right? So what is important now, if you are preparing your team with reskilling them, they can take, this new jobs, and then, the company will save money instead of hiring a new people, right, with the skills. So this is, of course, what is important for the business. And if you can do all this, the outcome is increasing productivity and also profitability, because you will have more capable workforce with innovative idea to manage and sustain the business. I hope that I answered your question.
Yeah, excellent. I think I picked up a couple of very cherry points. So I think you touched on something which is very relevant, and I have interacted with a lot of people where I felt that they miss out on this particular part which you touched, is the change which is happening probably post-COVID. So I'll give you an example. What you said is something like that because of COVID, a lot of supply chain got impacted globally. The spare parts were not coming. So a lot of people were struggling in fulfilling their business orders in various countries because of the poor supply chain. Now, nobody thought about it, that what is it to do with me? I'm working in a small market, but this is where they need to now develop newer skills to manage customer expectation, customer service, which they were never prepared for in the past, because they thought that, okay, the product is always on my back. I have to just go, demand, and fulfill it. But today, the expectations of the customer is increasing. Competition has increased as ever. And as you rightly said, at this point of time, this reskilling of meeting such kind of evolving challenge, because the market is, I would say, changing so rapidly with the war coming in, technology coming in, a lot of, geographical, political, a lot of stuff is changing. And if you understand and you connect the dots clearly, you know what's there in the future. So something you rightly said, if reskilling, upskilling happens, it impacts business, it impacts productivity, and ultimately profitability. Yes. So thank you so much for saying that.
Thank you.
And for the audience, I would say that if you have any questions, you can please post it on the comment section, and I would request Jamila to answer it if she has it right away, or she'll come back to you. Okay, fine. So now we talked about reskilling, upskilling. We understood that what's its impact on the business and the changing environment. Now tell me that, okay, let's talk about if I am in Dubai or if I'm in India or anywhere place,
Mm.
what's in it for me? Why should I reskill and upskill? Okay, I know it's important, but okay, I'm doing well. I'm performing. I'm achieving my business objectives. So what the hell I need it? And anyways, there are many jobs available. If I'm doing well, somebody will pick me up. So
Mm.
if I have this attitude, do you think that I don't, I mean, as an individual, I feel, why do I need this? What's in it for me? Can you tell
Yeah.
something on these lines?
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting question because, very much the challenge on the learning and development professional is how can motivate also their people to take, the learning to the next step. But you see, Arun, you touched something very important that everything is changing dramatically, right? So the business model is changing very quickly. So if you are successful and with the same skills that you are doing it and things around you is changing and you want to continue with the same way, I am not sure that the outcome is going to be very successful because the market is asking you to do differently, right? And nowadays resources are available everywhere. And we are going also to talk about the new workforce that it is coming to the market, right? They are young and they want also to learn and they know that whatever they have, it will not let them reach where they are. Or most of them, when I was coaching many of our people, you will see that they are so much keen to advance in their career. So the first things for the employee, the benefit is advancement in their career. you know if you are offering upskilling or reskilling, you are preparing your workforce, to be more engaged and have a better satisfaction, as we mentioned. But also, they are going to be more confident and have a self-esteem, to do things differently. And this is going to have impact on the business and on their also a future, because they will not become redundant if you don't really work on your skills as an individual, because the company can provide for you all the resources available. And even if they don't, if you are really keen to upskill yourself, the resources are available everywhere nowadays, right? There is a plenty of platform that it doesn't cost too much, or it's free and you can really reach it. So advancement in career is very important, being more confident, and the job security. Because you mentioned that, yes, I am very successful now, but if I want, to move to somewhere else, or, to be promoted, am I really ready to take this? Of course, you will feel more confident and comfortable when you have an impact and you prepare yourself by, taking time for yourself to develop, to grow, and to start, searching for different opportunities internally and also could be externally. Nobody knows. But job security will be also something which beneficial for the employee. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. And you are again, cherry picking some very key points. And what you just said about productivity and making yourself out of redundancy, that is the way. But this also reminds me one of the very important quote by Marshall Goldsmith: "What got you here won't take you there."
Won't get you there. That's
And
true.
and one thing more, what he said when I went through his course, and he said that a lot of successful people have this superstitious that I am successful in spite of all the shortcomings I have. So
Yeah.
if I shout, if I yell, if I dominate, that's the way I have been successful. So they continue to be superstitious about it, and they forget that how to shape up their skill sets to move ahead. So very
That's
rightly
true.
said, it's not just about your current work, it's about your future that will help you in skilling and reskilling in this digital era. Okay, now I'm myself is interested to now understand that what are the current trends when you talk about reskilling, upskilling? Can you throw some light on it and give us some more idea on this? What are the current practices and trends in this side?
Yeah, this is very, very interesting question because, things has changed dramatically from my old way and old days and how much, the way that I was trained and I was like, prepared to go to the market. It's totally different now.
Correct.
The organization, they have to create a learning culture, by promoting more the lifelong learner mindset. What does this mean? It means that no one can say that I cannot learn, because we have to be more into, let's say, open-minded, and we say growth mindset. Growth mindset when you are really open to try something new, to learn, to practice, but not only, to educate them with it, but to create a learning environment where you can practice your learning. Because as you know, Arun, the journey of development is not only education or taking a course or reading a book. It's beyond that, because the education is only 10%. The company, they have to create this culture that everyone can really learn, and we can learn in different ways. It doesn't mean only by reading and by attending a program, or by webinar or something. These are under education, but the main is how we can create also opportunity to practice those skills. This is the 70% on the job, and that there is also the remaining of a 20%. The 20% are, how you can bridge between the learning and how do I know if I am, using this learning practically, I am doing well. So I need to get feedback. I need to be mentored. So they can create internally mentorship using, people, senior people, leadership team, to be mentor for their employee. And this is how we can use also internally the knowledge and create this culture. The coaching as well is very important, and the relationship with the manager, because the manager is very important to check in and understand the strengths of their team by creating this learning culture to encourage and motivate the team to learn consecutively and continuously. Because it's not only that I do one upskilling or one reskilling and that's it. It's not one event. It's a continuous, journey. It cannot stop. That's why, creating a learning culture, curiosity culture, where people learn from each other, and we call it social learning nowadays. And the issue is that everyone has knowledge and expertise. And how you encourage people to share this, which platform you can use. And this is very important now because we have plenty of learning management system where anybody can really use Instagram and Facebook, and you can do the same. You can tag your colleague, you can tag your peers, you can also share the learning with your group, you can curate some of this information. So this is how the trend is going into social learning, and the resources should be available for all employee, not only a small pool of employee. And this is very important because most of the employee could be potential when you are giving them the chance. And the good also strategy is the learning and development and talent management professionals to identify the skill gap, to develop also what is needed for the business. And this can be done also through technology, because you can send a survey, you can have focus group, you can get all this. So this is the effective ways to create something which it will give impact on the business. It should be also identified and help people to start using the resources available, and not only by pushing them, by using the pull strategy, because you can create personalized learning like individual development plan. And this LMS learning management system is really driven by AI. If you are opening your profile and you put what you want to do and what are your strengths, then the AI, as much as you are communicating with this system, they are going to give you notification and what is really needed for you and give you guidance. So this is amazing. So, but if you want, to make it really impactful, is how we can, create this learning culture and help, the employee to look at it and be owning their own development, because the resources are available. They have only to click and do some effort, right? Of course, it depends on the skills that you want, to reskill your team. We can use the virtual reality, we can use micro learning, and there is a lot of gamification, creating, communities for learning, bringing, peers together after a program to let them, also give feedback to each other and accelerate mentoring programs, coaching internally and also externally for the workforce can prepare them and accelerate, the way to upskill and reskill their team. And I insist very much on the new generation and the social learning. They can really use it as they are using Instagram or, Facebook or Twitter or any other, platform. So to connect with each other. Yeah.
Well, once again, thank you so much for giving that elaboration on the current trends. And let me admit that at this age, I really get scary about it, because so much of AI technology is the moment you open your day with a laptop or your phone, you see that people know you more than you know yourself. And
Yes.
so for me, a person like me, to catch up with so much of things happening is really a challenge. But as you rightly said, the young generation, I think that's the way they are born on it. It's like born on Instagram. So, they know what is the button where and how to play around it and what to get, what not to get, and also what to give. But I think my understanding also says in this current trends, a lot of young and the middle age, particularly the middle age professionals, they are little lost. When I say lost, because there is so much of information, plethora of information, tools, technology, and various work scenarios are available, that a lot of people are confused what to take and what to leave. And so I think what you touched on, another part, is the role of mentoring and coaching. I think is becoming prudent and very, very relevant in this practical scenario, because a live person talking like this can really make, with his wisdom and experience and his knowledge, that what are the right choices one can make. Because today you open Google, you get everything. You can make your own profile today. You have plenty of options, but that is where the information overload is also making people to, don't know what to do. And that's why they are more confused, leaving jobs early, don't know whether skilling and reskilling is important or not. Well, stuff like that. Okay, so that brings another very important aspect that I want to ask from the companies or the organizational point of view. What do you think, what are their challenges when it comes to skilling and upskilling, reskilling and upskilling their workforce in this digital era? What are their challenges in your mind?
Yeah. Of course, the challenge for all companies is, as usual, the cost. Because the cost is really can go up if we want, and it depends on also the company and the strategy of the company. We can use, like the technology to scale, but with less cost. This could be done, but this is really something which is very challenging for the organization and the time, because what is strange as well with all the change that we are going through is still, the mentality that we need, to do the job from 9 to 5. And this is something which I don't believe in it anymore, because we have objectives, right? And we need, to finish this objective. And this is how we can give a flexibility to the people. And I will tell you what we did in our company. We created like a curiosity campaign. And the CEO was also pushing this, because the The other challenge, the second challenge, is the support from the management, from the senior management. That learning is essential, is value, is value for the organization. So this is very important to get the buy-in and to spread this as well, this strategy within the workforce. So what we did with Curiosity Campaign, we were aspired to have 100 hours of learning per individual. And it's an aspiration. We didn't reach it, but at least it was an aspiration. We reached around 50, 55. But this also helped, people to see that, yes, and we were asking, the managers and the leaders to provide 5% of the time, because time is very, very precious to be in the field or to, do your work, and everybody is overwhelmed. But what is important is to give them 5% of the time dedicated to learning. So these are, some challenges, cost and time, and how can you make it happen using also the buy-in of the senior management to encourage people and motivate them that this is value. Because I will tell you, people will be worried if they knew that they have 30 hours of learning. Oh, so which means you are not working? No, we have to give trust also to our team and to our workforce, because if they don't motivate themselves also to go and search for their learning and own their own development, they cannot wait for company to prepare for them everything, and also to their manager. They have to be more proactive. But it's the culture as well. We go back to the culture. So the last also important challenge is resistance to change. Some employee, as you mentioned, I am very much successful. I have my own skills. All my life I was successful. So why I have, to continue learning? And this is where the buy-in from the management can also help them to be motivated, and also the different trend, the different way, micro, let's say, learning, sending, pushing some messages, bringing them in a team, peer, put them in a mentorship. Then this is going to help them, to build a better motivation and reduce the resistance of the employee. But this is really very, very important, how you can try to encourage the workforce that, learning and lifelong learning, you cannot stop learning, is important for them and for their future career, and to own their own development.
Yeah, very rightly said. I think what you rightly put it, cost comes as one of the major challenges. As you rightly said, the time is another very big challenge. And I think I would add one more, which you have mentioned already, is the attitude and willingness for me to learn. If that is not there, no matter I have enough money and time, it won't work. So I think it reminds me of a book from Thomas Friedman, who is the owner of LinkedIn earlier, founder of LinkedIn, and he wrote in his book called The Startup of You that initially, companies used to also have enough time for people to come, train, develop, and then results comes. So now it's like aim and fire. Now from the current trend, it is come and fire. That means you need to be ready from the day one when you come into the job. Yeah. So gone are the days that company is going to prepare you and if they are doing it, you should be thankful to them, because the companies also know that your loyalty is not going to be long lasting as it used to be in 70s, 80s, and 90s. It's going to be like 2 years, 4 years, 3 years. So if companies are doing it, my willingness should be higher that how I can grab it.
Yeah, that's
I was talking to one of the L&D manager, and he said one of his own research yesterday we were talking about, and he said that there was a survey they did where they found that people who were skipping the internal trainings given by the company, either they are skipping, they are coming late, there were very high chances that they were about to leave the organization. They were not fully committed. So that is, I think, as you rightly said, those Curiosity Campaign, the amount of time and effort on coaching, mentoring, and showing them the value that they are going to get, not only within the role, but maybe even outside this because that is going to remain with you forever. It's not going to be out.
No.
So you need to be selfish about it. What is it in it for me? Always this question comes and should be about that, how I can acquire more skills, learn new things, and that is the only way to grow. Well,
yeah, and one comment just to add on this, the business model is changing dramatically, and the complexity of the business and the environment and the market is becoming more complex, right? So what are we expecting from our workforce, to be innovative?
yeah,
So how you want, to do things differently if you are not also providing this space for them to learn and
yeah,
to do things in a different way.
yeah,
Because with innovation, and I know that you read the book of growth mindset. It's the strategy is not to be open only to learn, is to make mistake and learn from this mistake. And what is really the aim is to acquire experience from all these failure, so
yeah,
you can innovate. So I'm not worried if I do something and it will not work. I'm not going to be judged, but I
yeah,
am going to learn from it. And could be that it's going to be the best way to innovate and continue and sustaining the business. So innovation is really key, and curiosity. It's
yeah.
only curiosity can align with the innovation. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. So I always tell whenever I get the opportunity to speak, it's like fail first, fail fast. That's the best way to learn. Well,
Yes.
anyway, so what would be your final tip? Anything that you would like to leave some thoughts for audience, those who are listening to you?
Yeah. Thank you. I want to thank them for tuning in to this, event on a topic which is very, very important. And we hope that they found this discussion very informative and engaging. And I want also to encourage them to stay tuned for more to come, right?
Yeah.
And before that, I wrap up with two final tips for the organization and individual. I want to thank you, Aaron, and HCM, Human Capital Network Connect, for organizing such informative discussion. And my final tip before wrapping up is the first one is for the organization to encourage a culture of continuous learning by providing opportunity for employee to learn new skills to grow and advance in their career. And then it will help them, to be always ahead of the competition and as well sustaining the business. Uh, for employee, my tip is don't wait for anybody to help you to develop your skills. The resources are available either internally or externally. Identify your skill gap, be proactive, talk to a career coach or to your manager or to your mentor and understand what are the gaps and focus on learning that it will help you to achieve your future aspiration. So by these two final tips, I want to thank you again, Arun, and hopefully we will have more discussion on different topics in the future.
Well, thank you so much, Jamila. I think every word that we spoke and that you spoke and I think was of worth value. And of course, as you rightly said, this is the beginning of our discussion. I think we just concise this to a 30 to 40-minute session. And because that's where the juice of the work remains. So we are going to come back and I'm going to request you again to work a little more deeper on this topic, and let's continue this further in our next call, maybe 15 days or a month time from now. And let us get some feedback from people. How did they find the session? And what are the things that they would like to know more about on this topic? Anything specific, if they have a question, please leave it in the comment section. And I will pass it on to Jamila and I will ask her to revert back on that.
Yeah,
so once
sure.
again, thank you very much, Jamila, for making it and joining us on this platform. And have a good evening, I would say, ahead.
Yeah,
for
thank
you.
you. You too as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.